everybody, this is Adrienne with Ascension Soul Coaching. Today is April the 30th, 2023. So I just watched the show, the interview on the Markle family talking about Meghan Markle. And let me tell you what I think about it. So on a scale of about 1 to 5, I'd probably give it about a good 4, because it was a 51-minute interview, right? For the whole show, okay? But the whole show was broken down in different parts. The first one was Meghan Markle. The second part was Prince Charles. Then they spoke a little bit about the coronation and Camilla and Diana, and a little bit about Prince Andrew. So it was just a good preempt for the coronation. And I think that this was also a way to just say, hey, don't forget us. Here's the Markles. We're going to have our say-so as well. So we want to put our 2 cents into what happened and let y'all remember that we're still here and we are Meghan's family. The father, I felt that it was heartfelt what he wants with his daughter. He's probably never going to ever get, unfortunately. So for you all who have forgotten about why she hasn't spoken to her father in the past 4 years, it's mainly because he sold a couple of pictures before the wedding because he wanted people to think he was getting in shape and he wasn't a sloth and he wasn't, alcoholic. And so he made a little money from that, and his daughter found out about it. And then from then she didn't want to speak to him anymore. He's had a heart attack since then, and he's had a stroke. And Meghan doesn't want to speak to him. And so he's just appealing to her again to say, this is my daughter and I love her. And I would just love to have that one more opportunity to talk to her, have a conversation with her. How can I make it right? And he would love to see his grandkids. But we all know that's more likely not going to happen because Meghan has already gotten what she's going to get from her father. There's one scene there's some videos that he's showing of her when she was a little girl. And there's one where she's looking over her shoulder and I guess he's calling her to get her to turn around for the camera. And she has this little look on her face and she says what?
Weekends at the lake. What?
And I'm like, what? See, I don't think Meghan's ever been that nice little girl we all want to think she was. Meghan has always had an attitude, I believe. This is nothing new and her father should know it, but he still cares for her because that's his daughter. But he's never going to have that relationship with Meghan. Meghan has moved on. She's not looking back. None of this is going to make her look back. If anything, the only thing she's going to say is tell Harry, see, I told you, here they are yet again, trying to bring me into the mix, and they're just selling me out for money yet again. And that's about it. But for me, as far as watching it, they didn't really say anything mean about Meghan. They didn't really reveal anything that we haven't already heard them say. It was just, this is who she is. This is what she's done. Hopefully she'll one day look back and say she's missing out on her family, and she'll, have a change of heart. Doubt it's going to happen. So, for me, for 20 minutes, I didn't have a problem watching it. You're not going to get any revelations out of it, but it is a good watch. And I think that if you want to watch it, you're getting ready for the coronation next week, great. Now, the other thing I want to talk about today that the BBC have put out that Charles has included in his coronation that he wants the British people in the Commonwealth to, during a coronation ceremony, to pledge allegiance to his ruling or to his majesty himself. And so they're saying this is the first time that anyone has put a pledge like this inside of the coronation. Typically, it is the monarch who is pledging allegiance to the people and to his country, and that's the way it should be. That he's going to or she is going to serve the country for their life, as long as they're in that position, to do the best for that people, for their country. And for me, I'm not a British subject. I'm American as I can be. And I don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. And I'm going to tell you why I don't say the Pledge of Allegiance. Not because I don't believe in my country. I love my country. I love being here. But I could not ever pledge allegiance to a person like that. My husband, yes. To my children, yes. But people are finicky and they're fallible and they make bad decisions. And, the only good thing about some of our rules and constitutions that we can't change them if things are going in the wrong direction and stuff. For now, lately, A lot of things are going wrong, and a lot of people that are in power are making mistakes or decisions that are not good for the people. So that's why I couldn't do it. Not at this point in time. If I can't, I follow my God, and I'm following my moral compass. Okay, there are rules in my nation that I'm going to follow because it follows my moral compass. And if there's rules that I do not agree with, either there's something I can live with, or I'm going to try to do something to get them changed. That's about how I feel about any of this stuff. So it's very interesting. You know, I told y'all before that there's some things going on behind the scenes. There's going to be some type of pledges and ceremonies and things going on behind the scene that it's going to be interesting. I think this is one that we're seeing. And this card is Intergalactic Mastery, Confirmation. So it may have a lot to do, it's going to have a lot to do with the One World Agenda. There's a coming together of nations, one world, one government. And during this coronation, there's going to be a lot of secret rituals being done behind the scenes that we don't know about. But in that, I believe some things are going to be linked. Maybe there's some who the allegiances are with who. So let me just tell you why. When you make a pledge to somebody or to the country, you're pledging with your soul. It's an oath. And I look at it like this. When you pledge to a ruler or to a nation on that level, it's almost like a spiritual bond or spiritual oath, because this is technically, y'all, this is a spiritual ceremony. When he takes the oath of being king of the nation, it's a ceremony, it's a religious ceremony, really it is. And you're pledging spiritually that this is what you intend to do with your life in front of God and man. And I think that if you're pledging allegiance to him, a man, and his family, it's like putting man over God. He didn't say pledge your allegiance to God. He said pledge your allegiance to him. That's what it's going to say, to the king and his family and to the nation and his rules. Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. People need to really research and see where it's coming from and where did he come up with this and why is it important now of all this time to come up with this? Do you want to love and respect your king? Sure. Do you want love and respect your country and be there for it? Sure. But when you pledge something like that, that's especially in a religious ceremony, to me, that is a very heavy weight. And if you want to do it, hey, do it. Great, fine. You just know what you're pledging yourself to. Sometimes we pledge allegiance to things that are not right, and we don't understand everything that's part of that pledge and that oath. Make sure you know exactly what you pledge in the oath to, because you're blanketly saying you're going to agree to everything. And then when you find out 5 years later what you agreed to, you're going to be upset that you didn't take the time to figure out what in the world did that mean. So it's new. It's so new for normal, regular citizens to have to pledge allegiance to a king, even in the UK. You need to understand if you say that oath on Saturday, that you understand what you're saying. Okay, that's all I'm trying to tell y'all. I just think this world's really going crazy right now, and you just got to be careful what you put out there and where you put your allegiance to and your alliances to and your trust in. So I will be watching the coronation. I will not be watching it live because of this. I was intending to watch it live before I found this out, because I don't want to be a part of that spiritual movement that people are taking allegiance to a person and to their family. But I will definitely watch parts of it and recap later that afternoon, see what the highlights say, But I think a lot of y'all need to really get on this thing about this allegiance thing. And I know there's a lot of people over there saying that he's not my king. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm not saying to say he shouldn't be the king. I'm not down with that. Just allegiance thing. All of a sudden just coming up. Spiritual words, these oaths, y'all know they mean something. I think y'all just need to just know what you're getting yourself into. When you pledge allegiance to something, you don't know what you're pledging your allegiance to. It may sound pretty. It may sound like, oh, this is great. It's my king and this is my nation. I'm there for it. But that may not be what you pledging to. And maybe you may be pledging to something a little darker than you think. And you don't want to wake up 5 years from now and find out what you pledged to. So that's my opinion. Do your own research. But we don't know what else is being added to the coronation. Maybe there'll be some other things that's going to come out and they're going to tell us during the week. And maybe this is one of the reasons why Meghan, another reason why Meghan didn't come, because she's like, I'm not pledging allegiance to no nation and to no king that I don't live there and they don't like me. But it's interesting that if she knew that and Harry knows it and he's coming, because like I told you before, during the funeral, the Queen's funeral, when he sat behind his father at the funeral, he did not say long live the, he did not sing that part of the song which says long live the king. He did not do it. So it would be interesting to know if he's going to pledge his allegiance to Charles. If somebody would have a camera on him at that time to see if he's actually going to do it, that would be very interesting to see if he actually does it. Because that'll say a lot of things. It'll say a lot of things, and if he does pledge allegiance to the king, because of all the things he's doing to his father, there's no way you're pledging allegiance to him. It doesn't work. It doesn't follow. You'd be a hypocrite. So it'd just be interesting to know if he does it, just to say it. But y'all, trust me, pledging allegiance is a very, very, very spiritual process, which you're doing, especially in a very spiritual ceremony. This is a lot of these things are steeped in tradition and in, worship, and, your word is your bond kind of sort of thing. And we just gotta be careful what we pledge allegiance to. That's all I want to say. So anyway, I want y'all to have a great day. I do hope you watched the 7 News Spotlight interview with the Markles, because it was engaging. It was light. It was a pretty good one. I mean, it's not going to make you upset because you watched it. I know some people may be upset because we didn't get all the answers we wanted from them, but I didn't think we were going to get anything new out of there anyway, because Meghan hasn't even spoken to them in years. So I think it was more of, hey, we're still here. Meghan's getting her comeuppance. Maybe she'll come back around and one day and see what she's missing out of her family. And don't be surprised if they do go to the coronation. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up at the coronation. I would love to see it if the king invited them to the coronation. That would be very interesting to see. Don't know if it's going to happen. It'd be interesting if it did. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Enjoy your day, and blessings. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.